Hey guys, Claire here, and in today's video, we're going to talk about all things Harry and Meghan. Recently, new photos of Duchess Meghan were revealed via an exclusive from People magazine, and eagle-eyed fans were able to see just the tip of what is thought to be Prince Archie's sort of like auburn hair. I swear. Royal fans are next level in terms of the attention to detail because I did not see that at all. And for the fashion girls, much of what the Duchess was wearing were pieces that we have seen her wear before, which makes sense. It was a laid-back day, just going to the bookstore. So yeah, I do love her little keychain. I adore the thoughtfulness and positivity that Meghan seems to think about in a lot of the things that she purchases and supports. Sustainable, supports women, positive affirmations. I'm here for that. Now, the week started off with an exclusive to People magazine in which the prince revealed that the best gift that he's received ahead of his 40th birthday, of course, are his children, Prince Archie and Princess Elizabeth. And I swear, for the past few days, I continue to see a slew of articles, videos, segments, panel discussions about Prince Harry's upcoming birthday. You would think that Harry was the monarch or was the heir, the obsession. You even have royal commentators who spend just about every day for the past few years slagging off of Harry and Meghan, talking about what they would buy him for his birthday.
So Prince Harry, we know he's in Montecito, and we know there's going to be some huge party for turning 40. His father won't be there. His brother won't be there. How do you imagine Prince Harry is going to be? Is he going to be happy celebrating his 40th birthday in Montecito?
Well, 40 is supposed to be a turning point in a young man's life. It's, you forget the craziness of youth, and you become more, I wouldn't say more adult, but you become wiser. Now, has Harry become wiser? I think he probably has. And I personally think Harry is very happy in Montecito. There's no reason not to be. It's one of the most beautiful places in the world. You've got the mountains, you've got the sea, you've got the amazing climate, and he's also focused on whatever philanthropic work he happens to be doing.
I think this may be the first time that I ever agree with something that Ingrid has to say.
I do think Harry's happy, and I don't think for one moment he wants to come back here. I think he wants to be able to visit, but that depends on the security, and that's another story. I mean, he's always been obsessed about security.
Between Roya last week and Ingrid this week, it's interesting to hear royal correspondents publicly say what we've known for quite some time. Harry is happy. There's no reason for him not to be, and he's not interested in returning to the royal fold, or the firm.
Did she fear for the future in any way, or did you ever discuss how she thought the boys might grow up with this kind of atmosphere?
I think she feared more, as William was growing up, because he was 15 when she died, or yes, he was 15, and Harry was 12 going on 13. She worried much more for Harry because she just wasn't sure which way he was going to go. And when he was a little boy, William used to bully him quite a lot, which is perfectly normal. And Harry would always take the blame for the scrapes they'd get into.
Knowing what you knew about Diana, as I say many times that you met her, do you think she would be proud of what Harry has done, or do you think she would not look favourable on his actions from recent years?
I think Diana would be proud of what Harry's done, because Diana wanted to do it herself. She wanted to go and live in America, and she even looked at properties in Malibu, and she had this sort of fantasy idea that she would be much happier in America. Then she realised that of course she'd be separated by 5,000 miles from the boys, and she couldn't deal with that. That was not going to happen. So I think the fact that Harry, I suppose you could say, escaped from the royal fold, I think she'd be very proud of that. What she wouldn't like is this fallout with the family.
Would you buy Prince Harry for his 40th birthday?
Ooh. Matt, you're throwing these really difficult questions at me. I would probably buy him, because I love them, buy him a polo pony.
Yeah. Okay.
I've got 4 retired polo ponies, and they do have a rough life when they're working, as we'll probably see in this film that Harry's made for Netflix. But I'd give him a retired polo pony that he could look after, or maybe a whole stable of them.
I think he'd like that. That's actually
Yes,
a decent present. That's not a joke answer. That's a serious answer.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Final question. So he has been a mischievous boy, as we pointed out, a party animal, a hero soldier, a married father, and an exiled prince. Which of these versions of Prince Harry is your favourite?
Mischievous boy, without a doubt. Those cute pictures of him sticking his tongue out and pulling faces. There's a lot of Louis there, a lot of Prince Louis, and you can't help but love him.
Excellent. Well, we're off back now to hope that our invites to Harry's 40th birthday party arrive in the post, and then we'll update next week.
No, I don't particularly care for Ingrid, and she has for years contributed to this petty and never-ending attacks on Harry and Meghan. But I found this interview to be quite interesting. One of the points that kind of stuck with me was when she talked about Harry and William getting into fights as young boys. And that stuck out to me particularly because I feel like the way that they persistently normalized William's bad behavior, like back then when they were kids, that's fine. Personally, I've never gotten to physical scraps with my sibling, but 2 boys, competitive spirit, rambunctious, I get that. But to this day, notice when Harry talked about it in Spare, not one of these commentators hesitated or doubted that story. They try to poke holes in just about everything else Harry talked about, but not about that story. Why is that? We've already had royal commentators like Robert Jobson make it very clear, and constantly remind us to describe William as incandescent with rage. He has a temper. So they know the type of person he is. Still up to his antics that he did as a child. But it's the way they try to normalize it that bothers me. And I mean, no wonder he is the way that he is. I can't imagine growing up my entire life in an environment where I am not held accountable for my actions. I am surrounded by a bunch of yes men and yes women who do not hold me to account. That would not be a good thing for anyone. So that was interesting to me. And did you catch that bit at the end with Ingrid talking about the gift that she would give to Harry? Personally, I found that to be quite interesting and thoughtful. I was surprised that she would publicly say what we all know. Harry's happy. He's good. And why wouldn't he be? I think they've known this for quite a while, but it's interesting to see more of them say it out loud in these interviews. Is this a sign of the tide turning? Who knows? They'll probably be back to their regularly scheduled programming soon enough. Another interview that I found particularly interesting was Jenny Bond, formerly for the BBC.
It's interesting reflecting on where Prince Harry is now. And he says he was anxious about turning 30, he's excited about turning 40. What do you make of where he's at?
Yeah, well, 30 was a difficult time for him. He'd been in Afghanistan. He was pretty traumatized by all of that. He was having panic attacks. He broke up with his girlfriend, Krista Bonus, just before he was 30. It was a pretty miserable time for him. Now look at his life. He's got what he wanted. He's in America. He's with the woman he loves. He's got kids. He always wanted kids. He lives in the sunshine. Yes, he's had a massive rift with his family here, but I think he's put that pretty much to one side. And this has confirmed what I thought, his statement to the BBC, which is unusual in itself, I must say. His statement that he's very excited about the next decade. I think it's full of joy of being a parent, and it confirms what I thought, which is he's happy in his new life.
And in terms of what the couple set out to achieve in the United States, are they succeeding, do you think? Because obviously the narrative here is still very much focused on the rift.
The narrative here, in my view, has become extremely extraordinarily petty. We seem to deride everything that Harry and Meghan do. And personally, I think that if Harry's going to reflect on his life at 40, maybe we should reflect on what we say about them, because this is this tendency to rip them apart.
You don't say. Every time Harry and Meghan is invited to a new country and participate in, well, just about any philanthropic endeavor that they have, the British press comes a-knocking with the bitterness, with the anger, with the obsessiveness, with the lies, the misinformation. And all that manages to do is make them look, well, as unhinged as they actually are. So, only time will tell if other royal correspondents will heed her warning or her mild suggestion. Personally, I feel like it's tired, and they should. I don't hold my breath that will actually be the case for a vast majority of them who have decided to make hating Harry and Meghan a part of their personalities. And for my UK friends, let me know, did William ever receive this much coverage? Because I feel like I've been seeing a crazy amount of articles. Like we see interviews from BBC, GB News, Lorraine, just about every royal related show. It's insane. Did William get that sort of coverage? Let me know.
Prince Harry tells them, "The best gift I've ever been given is without doubt my kids. I enjoy watching them grow every single day and I love being their dad."
So what we really want to know is, will there be a party and who is on the guest list?
Well, it does seem that there's going to be some sort of bash for family and friends, they say, in Montecito, where they live in California. And what a nice party it'd be to be invited to that. And then he's going to have a weekend away, I'm told, with his friends, some of his closest friends. So that he can celebrate like that. But obviously we remember Harry used to be the party boy, but it seems that as he's got older, he seems to have chilled out a little bit more. So perhaps we won't see the scenes that we've seen in the past of trips to Vegas and such like, which he
Vegas
won't
won't
want to
be on the list,
replicate.
I'm assuming.
But we know that they mix with a lot of A-listers.
And in other royal news, I wondered if I was going to even mention this video. Personally, I did not watch it. I have seen snippets of it, snapshots of stills of it, but to sit and watch it in its entirety, I have not. And quite frankly, I don't see myself doing that. I don't know. Ever since the beginning of this debacle, something about it just doesn't pass the smell test for me, and I don't know what it is. So yeah, but I did find it interesting. This particular post was from Tumblr, and this person said nobody watched Harry and Meghan's documentary more times than Will and Kate and their team. The shots of them laying together, photos of Kate in front of the tall trees, the inclusion of Kate's mom in family settings, the children running in the ocean, all ripped right out of Harry and Meghan's documentary. It's just kind of sad at this point, to be honest. I've seen people compiling different shots of that video and showing it in comparison to Harry and Meghan's documentary. As this person said, the similarities are uncanny. I'm not surprised. Like I said, something about this entire situation just doesn't... It seems very off to me, and I don't know if I'm going through what we're told she has been going through. The last thing I would spend my time doing is trying to follow other people that I really don't like, and going so far as to like wear the brands and do the poses. It just feels so manufactured and disingenuous. That's about as much as I care to say on that topic.
It turns out that Willie wasn't just growing a beard over the summer. No, he took part in making a film too. Oh, the busy working life he leads. It's all work, work, work for Willie. I wonder how much time was devoted to learning his lines. Oh yeah, he didn't have any. Okay, well I wonder how much time was spent having acting lessons. Not many by the look of it. But he did touch Kate, and he did kiss her. And he held her hand. That must have been a challenge. And he had to change outfits. That must have been hard work. For his butler. What do you think of the video? It has all the hallmarks of a good advert, doesn't it? You know, happy family, frolicking around, having picnics, playing cards. I don't know. I think that John Lewis and Centre Parks could learn a thing or two from it.
So I keep getting asked to do my thoughts on this new video with Kate and Wills, as my friend says, Egghead. And yeah, the Centre Parks video. Another distraction. Yeah, one word I got was patronising. Patronising. Do you know, guys, listen, anybody that's struggling with a disease, I have total love for you and sympathy, because my mother died of cancer. So, you know, I totally understand if anyone is struggling with this illness. But this running around fields and bouncing about and all this energy she has, but yet she can't seem to do royal engagements. I mean, they only work about 1 hour a week, don't they, these guys? And on your taxpayers' money. And I found it really patronising. I was just like, well, if you're well enough to do that, how come you can't do service to others? They're paid to do a service for this country. Yet they can't do it because she's not well enough. But all through this video, I wasn't really seeing that. I was thinking to myself, you know, do you know what? I don't buy it, guys. I don't buy that whole video. And I seen so much fakery all the way through it. The bit where she was laughing with her head back. Do you know what he probably said to her? I bet they buy this video. I bet they fall for this. That's probably what he said to her. And she was just laughing her head off. Because that's what they're doing, guys. They're just laughing at you. Because no matter what they do, you fall for it. And then it's kind of like they get the public sympathy and then they leave off them a little bit. So people were getting too close to the truth again, weren't they? So they've got to distract you again. So, you know, you do you and I'll do me. I'll say what I think, you think what you think, and don't come at me royalists, because like you can scroll on if you don't like this video. You know, everyone's allowed freedom of speech. Well, not always, but I will say what I think, and I'm probably going to say what a lot of people are thinking, but they probably aren't. They're not going to say it in case they upset anyone, because we are a collective of sensitive people, aren't we? We just seem to be sensitive to anything these days. But yeah, that's what I think of the Centre Parks video. And then the butterfly coming out the hand, I was just waiting for the reindeers around the head and the unicorns to jump around. Yeah, I sound awful saying all that, but do you know what? Good luck to them. But yeah, it's a bit sickly, wasn't it? And it's a bit up there with the Beckhams. They're a bit like that, aren't they? Guys, this marriage is a business. You know, they've got to make money. They've got to keep being relevant. They've got to keep being important to people. So whenever people are losing interest or people are not watching them as much, they've got to bring out the new Centre Parks video. And that's it, you know, they've got to get that popularity. And this will probably make him popular because it'll make him relevant for a bit, because people will be talking about it all the time, won't they now, till the next video comes out. Don't know why we have to have so much sympathy for certain people, yet other people have to deal with these situations in their life but still have to go to work. And nobody looks after them, do they? So why are we having so much sympathy for people who clearly don't have sympathy for you? Take care. Have a great day.
In this whole Kate video debacle, guys, just remember one thing. The press know more than we do. And actually, this headline here is the second version of this article. So the first headline referred to Richard Eden speaking to one of King Charles's closest friends, and that person describing the video as deeply unregal. The headline is now edited to say, what Palace insiders tell me about Kate's manipulative film. What do they mean by the word manipulative? Are they possibly suggesting that Kate's illness was a lot less serious than the video and the Disney-style quality film portrays? I think there's a huge chance of that. Genuinely, I think there's a huge chance that other people see her condition as being less serious and quite a common thing for people and families to go through in the UK. Not to demean the seriousness of any type of this disease, but other people could see it as less serious. And the videos, cancer bench videos on the beach, and the latest, seem to be increasing the level of drama for what, in their opinion, is a relatively unserious illness. Concerns about the Wales' PR direction. Well, I'll tell you what, this video has changed their direction completely. They either keep up this level of Hollywood-style production, which I don't think is achievable, or they default back to the normal tweets, which don't give us any information, and the criticism will continue to roll in. Over the last 3 days, the Daily Mail have published 3 articles from senior journalists within their organisation openly criticising the latest output from William and Catherine and the video that half the world were talking about, but now no one seems to want to talk about. This is unusual for the Daily Mail for one reason, and that reason is the Daily Mail are normally staunch defenders of these two and their right to privacy. So I get why Kate and William felt they had to make that fiesta of smolts and slush, but what comes next? So openly criticising the content and the standard of the video as fairy tale and slush. Really, really unusual for the Daily Mail. Remember though, as I said on my other video this morning, they know more than we do. Journalists and the media always know more than the British public, but there's a limit as to what they can commit to print or digital. What's happening? Are the Daily Mail losing sympathy? Do they have the inside track and know something that we don't? So they want to calm down this fever of, oh, poor Kate, is she going to make it? Is she going to not? Are they literally getting zero and need stories like this for clickbait? I don't know.
That's why when you ask people, well, wait a second, why don't you like her? What's happening with her? What happened? And they tell you something like, oh, she's a narcissist. Oh, okay. What traits? The next time someone says she's a narcissist, ask them to identify 5 of the 9 to 12 traits that Meghan Markle possesses that would qualify her as a narcissist. And then when that's debunked, well, she chased after Harry. She's a gold digger. And no, you recount the story of Harry and how he met her and what he saw and da-da-da-da-da. Right? And then you lay it out on the table. No, according to Spare, page 237. Now, I don't know what page it was, guys. I'm just throwing that out there. This is what Harry said. In fact, he saw her and pursued her. So that debunks the gold digging thing. But I tell you who the gold digger was. Oh, wasn't Meghan Markle, man. Wasn't Meghan Markle. So as you run into people who are constantly regurgitating the negative articles and stuff that they've seen, and you say, no, this is what happened, and then they come up with something else, and you go, no, not according to what Harry wrote, and they don't like Meghan Markle because she's a black woman who married a white prince. They don't like Meghan Markle because she didn't appear grateful enough to be in the royal family. They didn't like Meghan Markle because she wasn't bowled over and blown away by the homes and the helicopters and the private planes and the trains and all the palaces and castles and all that. They don't like Meghan Markle because as a black woman, you didn't keep your place, Meghan Markle.
This is on the back of my TikTok, why do I support Meghan Markle? Would love to hear the answer, as I never know what to say, as she does so much good that wouldn't fit into a small space comment section. So I thought I would discuss it. Why do I support Meghan Markle? I suppose firstly, why wouldn't I support Meghan Markle? Where has dislike come from? Why would I make a decision on someone I've never met? No one is born to be hated. The hate and dislike has to come from somewhere, and for me, it's come from the UK media, Royal Rota, tabloids, etc. I would encourage anyone who says they don't like Meghan Markle to just respond with, why? Where has that come from? And honestly, I do this a lot. People must hate me. But I will throw in, what do you think about Meghan Markle? Just to get a gauge of what people say. And honestly, the things people respond with are things that I've seen and shared on here myself from the tabloids. And that is the reason many people would say they dislike Meghan Markle from what they've heard. The second thing I'll say with regards to Harry and Meghan and their documentary and Harry's book Spare. They get called grifters, making money, they're just trying to be celebrities, they don't want to be part of the royal family, they don't want to work, which all of that is false. And if you truly look into what Meghan and Harry have been saying, it's all there, it's all very obvious. And sadly for the royal family and the royal rota, it's all true. And I never bought into the whole never complain, never explain. That was just the royal family's way of not having to speak up on anything, unless they wanted it printed in the media. And lastly, I can see why so many people have fallen down the hole. She's a narc, she's an actress, blah blah blah. Because you hear one thing, then you hear another, then you hear another. But it's up to you to use your own mind and decide. And for me, Meghan Markle is not the enemy.
And with that, I think we'll call it a day for this week's video. I'm doing a lot better, so thank you all for all your well wishes, your prayers, your thoughts, your donations. And for Robin, hi Robin, thank you so much for the cuppa, which I think is slang for like a cup of coffee, right? Or tea. Actually did that. I got some chai. So thank you so much for that. And wherever you guys are as you're listening to this, I hope you're having a restful and wonderful weekend. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, hit that notification bell.